The GallowgateShots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the North East's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the GallowgateShots YouTube and podcast channel. We are begrudgingly back with another match preview. No, we are back with another match preview. It's obviously for the Liverpool at home game. I'm Scott. I am your host for this one. And this week I'm joined by Daryl, Andy and Joe. Boys, after the West Ham game, we thought it might get a bit better. And the Crystal Palace game happened.
I thought we established West Ham didn't occur, and I'm pretty sure the last game was Forest. So it's been a long international break. I'm looking forward to the lads getting back, starting off, getting that momentum going. It's going to be great.
I thought the last home game was PSG home, wasn't it?
That was the last home game. Last away game was Forest.
When's Ten Hag going to get sacked?
Is Pardew still around? What's going on? Anyways, we jest. Obviously, Wednesday evening, 4th of December, you'll have 4 little chocolates under your belt by the time the game comes around, if you do an advent calendar. So if you're one of them posh gets who's got a Lego one or whatever, rituals one or whatever you're doing, and you're getting perfumes or Legos or whatever it is to open up. Why? But yeah, there you go. You'll have 4 little toys or whatever. Kinder eggs. There you go. They should do Kinder egg.
God, we're off track already. What's going on?
Totally off track. Yes. 4th of December.
Late on a Sunday, but
I agree.
It's a 8:30 or a 7:30 kickoff at St James's Park, and it's on Amazon Prime. For all of you who want to try and stream it on Amazon servers, good luck. You're probably better off getting it on Dodgy, to be fair, but there you go, because Amazon will not be able to stream it properly. It'll be like Joe's internet. But yes, Liverpool they're not doing too bad, to say one thing. They are top of the league on 34 points. They have 11 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, and I'm hoping the league table I took was live and they took the Man City victory they've just done into consideration there. They've scored 26 goals. They've only conceded 8. That gives them an 18 goal difference. And guess what? I couldn't find much when it comes to commentator stats in our favour, so I'm going to give you 2 for Liverpool. So try not to turn off once you've listened to this, because it's not nice reading for us, but Liverpool have won their last 6 Premier League games against Newcastle, and they are unbeaten in 15 since a 2-0 loss. Daryl, when was that 2-0 loss?
1995-96?
Christ, no, give us some credit. December 2015. All right. There's been 11 wins and 4 draws since that time. Anyway, and Liverpool have won 10 Premier League games against Newcastle despite conceding the first goal, including a 2-1 at St James's Park last season, and we all know about that one. No side has beaten another more, having conceded first in the competition's history. So we're going to have to not score first, and then maybe we can win this one. But as we all know, Liverpool are the only team now to not lose a game when they score first. We were also one of those teams, but not going to win the game, shall I say? But we also were one of those teams, but we messed that up on Saturday. Andy, mate. Can we shine any positive light on this? No, I think we can. Let's give the lads a little bit of credit. We normally pull out the big guns and we actually perform when we play against Liverpool. So let's take a little look at Liverpool. They're quite good, aren't they? To say the least.
Well, I have one positive stat, which is Newcastle's won the last 1 time that Jose Enrique went in goal for them.
There you go. Was that in December 2015 by any chance?
I have no idea.
That was the 11-12 season.
Prior to that.
That was 11-12 season.
I think we should
scored. I remember that.
Well, I think if we just talk about that for 20 minutes instead of talking about this actual game, because I think we're going to get absolutely slapped. So I think it's a pretty easy prediction. with Liverpool, I mean, what is there to say that hasn't been said about them already? They were the Nearly team for so long. And I think just getting that one league title off Man City over the past 5 years was a monumental achievement in itself, because Man City is just a cheat code winning machine. It's an entire country built to win football, which is just outrageous, really. And I think there was lots of obviously question marks when Klopp left, because they were on a bit of a decline when Klopp left, and you could see that they weren't really the team that they were. And that sounds quite familiar, doesn't it? Slot came in out of nowhere, and I think people thought, well, Ten Hag came in as a Dutch manager without much experience in other leagues. So is Slot going to be another one of these? And he's turned them into the only consistent team probably in the Premier League. Everyone's taking points off each other. Everyone can beat everyone. Well, it doesn't feel like we can beat anyone at the moment, but you've got like us beating Arsenal, then Arsenal losing in games, and everyone's beating everyone. And Liverpool have just been this absolute titan so far, and I can't see how you break them down. Man City were coming off the back of the game at Anfield where Man City's gone there, and they looked completely, Man City have been poor, but they looked completely lost against that team. They were just getting absolutely battered. And Pep Guardiola, for the first time in his career, getting sacked in the morning. If a team can do that to Guardiola, then they're probably going to come to St James's, do the same thing, and sing "You're getting sacked in the morning" to Eddie Howe as well. So I'm not really that positive, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, Daryl. Obviously, the new manager has come in. It turns out maybe some pennies do fit the slot, to coin a phrase. But he's not doing too badly. It's not just a Ten Hag 2.0. I think people just jumped to conclusions because they were both Dutch and they were both bald. And I think that was quite a bad. Yeah, exactly. I think that was a bad comparison to make. And maybe they both. They worked together with Ajax, and they both managed Ajax. No, Slot was there from Feyenoord, wasn't he? So yeah, I mean, it was. I think people just, like they say, they just assumed it would be the same, and quite obviously it hasn't been. Obviously, he's inherited probably a much better side, but he's put his own stamp on that team.
Yeah, I think Liverpool would have been many people's favourites to be one of those that's still stumbling in transition this season, and Slot's come in there and just played an absolute blinder, and he's really been able to stamp his authority on that team and really get them to play his style. I suppose if anything, it'll be next season will be the test, just to make sure he's not just carrying on the momentum of the team that he's inherited. But from what we've seen so far, that's certainly not the case. And yes, he's got an absolute wealth of talent in that squad, but if you go deep into the stats, and you don't have to go that far to find this information out. They've talked about it a lot during the TV coverage this season, that certain aspects of the game have got better. They have changed certain things about how they play, and they're just so much better on the pitch. And we've seen the evidences there clear to say they're blowing teams away, and not just any old teams. We've got the current champions of England, Europe, the world, or whatever they are these days. With one of the best coaches we've ever seen, and he literally just gone there this afternoon at the time of recording and just blow them off the park with ease. And we like being under the lights at St James's Park in winter, with a good atmosphere going. But like Andy said, I think we're going to get a good slap in here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Newcastle United podcast, Joe. Obviously, you are a local boy to Liverpool.
Not your derby.
Yeah. So, what's it like down there? What are they thinking that it's going to be?
Down south.
It's going to be down south. Well, I could have said down south. I mean, further up in all years, but yeah. What's the feelings like locally around Anfield?
The locals, I know. I mean, they're positive. They're positive, obviously. They've just come off the back of slapping Real Madrid. Now they've just slapped Man City for one. So it's I mean, obviously it's all positive on the red side of Liverpool. I think it's been one of those. Well, is it like was said earlier? They've been a nearly team for so long. I mean, they obviously managed to get the Champions League. They've managed to get the League Cup, and did they get the FA Cup as well at some point? But they've had that. They've not been able to consistently get that, right up there with the Premier League, like battling Man City every single time. And and getting that second Premier League. And I think they're looking at this season now and going, it's completely now within their hands. Even at the start of December, it's in their hands. Possibly to even go to do what Man City did not long ago and go for a treble. Obviously it's very early in the season, but they're so far ahead in the league. They're so far ahead in the Champions League. I'm just going to shut up about Liverpool now because I feel like we're talking non-stop about them for the last 10 minutes of recording. Let's talk about us. So
yeah,
what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do? I genuinely think that we will put in a far better performance than we did against Palace in West Ham. And the reason I say that is not only are we at home, which typically we play better at. We do tend to obviously go higher against the big boys. We saw against City, we saw against Arsenal, Spurs. Them three. We've got 7 out of 9 points against them so far home this season. We've done really well, and I think not having the ball as much plays into our hands. Weirdly, we're a team that works well on the transition. We can exploit gaps in space, and I do think that will actually rattle this Liverpool team a little bit, far more than what perhaps a lot of people will give us credit for. Whether we'll have enough and whether we'll be clinical enough, that's a question here, because the clinicality of the team is being put into so much question. Not only are we struggling to create chances, but when we do get them, we're struggling to put them away. And that's what really needs to be the difference maker on Wednesday, is when we do, because we will certainly get at least 1 or 2 clear-cut chances against these. We need to actually put them away. And you've got to just think, fingers crossed, Isak's going to be fit for this, because he's got to be pivotal. If he's not there, I really worry. We just look toothless in that centre forward position when he's not there. So we've got to really, really have him fit.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Andy. Obviously, it's not just been goals; it's been, well, I don't want to say shots on target. It's been shots. We didn't have a single shot, I think, against Palace, or it wasn't registered as a shot on or off target. There was a shot against Palace, and I think West Ham wasn't much better. I think against Palace it was a 0.02% GA if you go for that, or a XG or whatever it is. But like Joe said, Liverpool aren't going to play low block. And that's where we become undone, is when teams do play that low block. So, we tend to come out and we play better against teams that actually want to play football and want to play, like how we play. And we want to, that comes out. And so, I know we've jested a little bit about how we're going to get a pace and all that sort of stuff. But you could look at this and think, well, actually, this suits us better when teams want to come out to us. And this is how we want to play. As long as we can defend and stay regimented and stay disciplined in the defense, we could actually come out and do damage to Liverpool a little bit.
Yeah, I think going to that sort of point you made second there about clean sheets, you're all back to, there's been periods during every Eddie Howe season where it hasn't clicked going forward, but we've always been able to fall back on keeping a clean sheet, winning a game 1-0, getting a 0-0 away point or whatever. So if we can go back to that, if we know that we're struggling to create chances and we know we're struggling to get goals, if you can hold out a team like Liverpool, they will, well, maybe not so much now because they're so far ahead, but teams will start trying to overextend against you, maybe commit an extra man that they don't need to, and we can still hurt teams. I do agree with Joe. As much as things are, everything's terrible at the minute, when you look back at it, you think we're still an all right team. We're just having a bit of a bad run, and there is no way in hell that we are having 3 or 4 games in a row where we just aren't creating anything. There is going to be something changed. 100% has to be. And yeah, not to repeat the same point, but we are better. 100% agree. We are better when teams allow us to actually turn them over, win the ball high up, actually attack us, and we can exploit people in transition. Although, having said that, the way Liverpool played in transition against Man City in that game we've just seen, not to go back to Liverpool, but they will equally do it the other way. We've been so sloppy in the final third in the opposition half these last 2 games. Sloppiness to a point where you almost can't look at Howe, because it's like, well, if he's getting the players in the right position and then Livramento decides just to pass it 3 yards away from a Newcastle player, then in a game like this against Liverpool, it's not going to be like the Palace game where we lose the ball and the they fluff up the counter attack, it will be an instant goal if we do that. So for me, yes, we will be better playing against a slightly more aggressive team. But on the flip side, we cannot be as sloppy as we've been these last 2 games, because it will be embarrassing if we do that.
Yeah, and Daryl, obviously it's a home game. It's on Wednesday evening under the lights at St James's. The crowd are going to also play quite a massive part of this. I know, a lot of it comes on the pitch, but you have to get behind them. There has to be I hate using the phrase a 12th man, but there has to be a 12th man on Wednesday night just to get behind them. You see it a lot at St James's Park when things start go away, that maybe the crowd can get on the back of the players, and that can cause more damage than anything.
Yeah.
You'd like to think, I think there's a war flags display for Keegan they were touting. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I remember there was rumours about, there was talking about it on social media.
Is it him slumped over the advertising board at Anfield?
It's a Stan Collymore tribute. That's what it is.
To remind them that you can bottle a league at any point.
Yeah, it's a big number 12 coming down from the Leazes end. No, but I'm sure they said something about they were looking. I mean, I don't know if it is going to be that. So if it's not, obviously, I've heard nothing recently of that, but they were talking about doing something
rumors,
and it would make sense that it was happening for this game. But the crowd is going to play a big part, I think, in getting the lads riled up for this game as well. Not that they need it, but during the game, if things don't go our way, the crowd need to get behind them, and not the Gallowgate moan or the Gallowgate sigh that you hear time and time again if a pass does go astray, as it inevitably will happen, because it's been happening quite recently.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's almost as if we need to treat this like you mentioned the game earlier on in this, that we almost need to treat this as if PSG are coming to town last season. It needs that kind of atmosphere just to really ramp everything up, and really get the players going, to really intimidate the opposition. And I was listening to part of today's game with Man City on the radio on the drive home from work, and I tell you what, the atmosphere at Anfield really came through quite well on the radio, and we need to match or better that. And we can do it. We've done it before. It's nothing that it's nothing unusual to us. But again, we're at that time of the year where it's a nice dark winter's night, and there's a bit of steam in the air off everybody's breathing in the stadium, and that the atmosphere can generate. And it's almost that hairs on the back of your neck feeling when you get in there, and it's just all ramping up, and you can really feel the tension and the positive tension as well as the negative one in the atmosphere. And we really need to get behind the boys and roll them into at least a performance that's worthy of getting some points on the board.
Well, given how the Alexander Isak display went, we should probably do a display for the entire Liverpool team.
Have a big Mo Salah tribute, shouldn't
we? Huge Cody Gakpo banner.
Well, I'll tell you what we should be doing first, Daryl. We should be changing our calendars. It's the 1st of December. Get your Anthony Gordon up. Get Sandro Tonali down off your wall. I'm not telling you again. Well, I don't have to. It's December.
As you tell.
Talk about Isak. And there he is. He's on his display. Talk about Isak, Andy. Obviously, he came off quite early in the previous game. That never happened. We're doing this before the press conference on Tuesday, but we're hoping that he's fit. Because I still don't think Callum Wilson's got a 90 minutes in him. And I still don't think Eddie Howe trusts Asula to even play him at the minute, because he's not coming on even as a cameo. So it's Wilson or bust, because I don't think Anthony Gordon's a striker. Well, Anthony Gordon can play striker, but I wouldn't fancy him.
I hate him as a striker, man. I honestly, it does me absolute nothing when Eddie Howe puts him up front. He wastes him in his best position on the left or the right, and then he's not scored from open play as a striker for us, I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has. And I just feel like the detriment of taking him away from the left-hand side is worse. Just stick Asula up front. Like, do that instead of trying to shoehorn Barnes in when a substitution opportunity comes up. I mean, that's my opinion. It really did my head in when he made that sub at the weekend. And instead of doing the obvious, putting a Sula on. I mean, I can understand, sorry to go off topic here, but like, I can understand maybe why he did it, because he was probably thinking it's 20 odd minutes into the game. It's too early for Wilson. He wants Wilson on at some point, but if he puts a Sula on, that will, change things quite dramatically. You might not be able to do that. So I kind of get it, but yeah, I'm sick of seeing Anthony Gordon up front because he's just not a striker.
Nah, he doesn't know
It
how
just
to get
kills
involved.
it kills my creativity on the left or right when he.
Well, that's it.
comes
That's
off,
it.
doesn't it?
And Barnes is good, but he's not as creative, and we need that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Oh, thanks. Sorry, Andy, you were going to say something there.
Well, no, it's just, I mean, Joe made the point before about Isak and how crucial he is. And yeah, I mean, situations like this where the team's really struggling, you sometimes just need the X factor player to just put one in the top corner or do something special. Like the Everton game where he skinned half the team. We just I feel like we just need something like that. I mean, to be fair, the goal against Palace was like a little bit of nice little play, like nice little worked free kick, nice pass from Tonali. That was just one bit of quality that's like, we have got it in the team. It's just for whatever reason we just cannot do it consistently. So yeah, Isak, hopefully he's in. Although what I really don't want to do is get into the situation we were in last season where, whether you believe the sort of reports, we were rushing players back because Howe was too stressed to sort of trust his bench and things like that. I mean, we've been saying for the last couple of weeks that the bench is finally in a position where it looks decent. And then it's then pointless saying that if you're then going to force Isak back if he's not quite right. So hopefully he's had a couple of ice baths and he's fit. And with Wilson, I think obviously our opinion of Wilson at the minute is just completely on the floor. Well, it's hard to even have an opinion of him because it's been so long since he's played. But we have to remember that he did an amazing job for us when we didn't have anyone else. He was a top striker in his day. And I think when he came on against West Ham, got himself about, showed a bit of physicality. Sometimes that's all you need is just that physical presence up there, which ironically, again, is probably why Asula should be there because he's like 9 foot tall and wide. So I don't really understand why he's not playing. Same point again. So yeah, I think the main thing is, and it goes to Daryl's point as well about the atmosphere. If it is Wilson on there, we've got to get behind him and get behind the team, even if the team looks a bit weaker on paper. The team's even weaker if you lose the 12th man as well. So I personally think we might see Wilson get a start because I think Howe as well is going to have to start thinking about that cup game and where his priorities are.
Absolutely. Another question that's been on everyone's it's been all over socials, Daryl, is obviously the middle of the park. We saw Tonali have a blinder of a game against Palace, even though the rest of the performance probably wasn't the best, but he had a good game. Playing with Bruno, Willock's obviously come off with another knock, and again we don't know how serious that is, but that's now 2 and 2 for Willock coming off. Is it a case of Tonali and Bruno should be starting every game in the way that they played against Palace, or is it a case of now for the big games we maybe need to shore up the back line a little bit more, and it's a question of one or the other, whether maybe it's a Sean Longstaff or even a Joe Linton playing in centre midfield to secure the back line a bit more and have a Barnes and a Gordon on the wings instead.
Yeah, I mean, we all clamoured to see Bruno and Tonali play together, and as much as they had some good spells against Palace, it's another game where we've played them together and we haven't really, we haven't won a game. And listening to that game on the radio, that just sounded like an absolute ball of crap for 90 odd minutes on Saturday afternoon, regardless of us getting the goal and then conceding later on. I mean, it sounded really terrible. And, even when you watch the highlights back, you just think, oh dear, it was just absolutely pants. So I think the question then comes back into is, Eddie tried to listen, I think, to the masses and try to have Bruno and Tonali together, but it still seems to be a bit of a conundrum as to can they actually do it? And Liverpool would be a hell of a test for that theory. And I think for me, if you were going to play them together in that midfield, the only third man for me would be Sean Longstaff, because at this point we're going to have to play Joe Linton on the wing again, or even, bit of a left field one, this one through the middle, up front, But
Steve
again,
Bruce was right.
I think I mean selection problems could mean
circle.
that we have to play that midfield three, and
It's worse
it's
ideas,
quite
Daryl,
a defensive midfield three. Well,
Yeah,
it's quite a defensive midfield three if you've got Longstaff, Tonali, and Bruno in there when you think about it. But they can play in attack. They can progress.
I was thinking about this, Daryl. To be honest with you, I agree with you about potentially having Joe Linton in a more advanced central position, because I was just thinking if we struggle, well, this is maybe not a tactic for Liverpool, but you know when we struggle against low block teams and we try to rely on the wings quite a lot to make something happen, but a lot of the time Isak's isolated. I think, okay, well, why not have Joe Linton play almost as a second striker or just off him to have that more physical presence and allow Tonali and Bruno to maybe one of them like hold back and one of them sort of stay around the edge of the box to be that sort of playmaker. You know, it's something that could happen as a plan B if we're struggling. Obviously, this game probably not going to be too much on the front foot, and we're probably not going to be fighting against the Liverpool low blockers. As we mentioned earlier, but it's something to think about. You know,
when it's 4-0 at 60 minutes to Newcastle, Joe, there probably might be a Liverpool low block. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, shall we?
Right. Okay, and
we're going for that 5th goal.
Sure.
Spoiler alert for my prediction, by the way.
And this is we couldn't be a Crystal Palace low block. This would be a Liverpool low block with Van Dijk. So
there's a Liverpool low block on the halfway line. Is that what?
It's in our final third. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're not worried about not being offside.
Yeah, but yes, we'll be offside in our own half. Daryl, mate, ref watch. Who's the man in the middle this week?
Bald, not bald.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a blast, this one, a blast from the past sort of thing, because, well, depends what you make of it. I mean, referee for Wednesday's game is going to be Andy Madley from West Yorkshire. It's his first Newcastle game of this season. And would you believe the last time we saw him in the middle of a Newcastle United game was the 5-1 win against Aston Villa on the opening day of last season. So it's been ages.
You're right. I cannot believe that.
Ages since we last saw him.
I thought you were going to say the last time we played Liverpool on a Wednesday night when he sent Nick Pope off. I thought you were going to say that was him.
But it's been a hell of a long time since we last saw him in charge of a Newcastle game. He's only actually done 5 games this season in the middle. But he's managed to dish out 25 yellows and 1 red in 5 games.
25 reds in 5 games.
Screwed. Certainly nice to get his cards down, and he's certainly up there with the average. VAR for this one is going to be Stuart Atwell, who was previously VAR for the Man City and Spurs games at St James's Park.
There we go. Didn't the ref in the last game only have like 5 games under his belt as well? It's almost like they've lost a big name referee that they're trying to make numbers up.
Having a check of the notes, Darren England, who we had against Palace, that was his 5th game of the season.
Yeah. See, I do listen. I do pay attention. Yeah, there we go. Well, there's ref watch for everybody. Let's move on to our predictions. Joe, mate, I'm coming to you for this one.
Oh, do we have to?
Okay, well,
that's the whole idea of the video.
Bit of a misnomer, isn't it? If we call it a preview. My prediction.
Yeah, go on, Joe. I'll let you go.
My prediction is I think we'll put in a good performance. I think we will have a couple of chances, but I see Liverpool doing what they'll call a job on a midweek and get a grind out like a 1-0 win. You know, I don't think it'll be the rampant desolation, like just demolition that a lot of people are expecting. I think we'll put up a good fight, but I think their quality will ultimately just see them through. But yeah, improved performance. Hopefully Isak's back, but I reckon a 1-0 loss. Hopefully I'm wrong.
How many shots on target will we get?
45.
Let's add that into the mix.
45 shots 45? On target.
And we get beat 1-0. I think that's worse.
Callagher's going to have
having none. Okay, then, Daryl. Top that.
Well, I actually sort of partly agree with Joe. I think we might put in a bit of a spirited performance and be a little bit back towards what we've come to know this Eddie Howe Newcastle United side. However, we've just seen them slap Man City off the park and Real Madrid off the park. So I think we will get one somehow. But I think Liverpool will win out 3-1 winners here.
3-1, blame me. Andy?
Well,
Got a positive.
it
is
was
it going to
a
be a hat trick
weakened
of
Real Madrid and a wounded Man City. So I still think we're going to lose. No, yeah, I think I actually agree with the two lads about us putting up a better performance. I do think we'll turn up for it, but I think it'll just be one of them where we won't sustain it for the full 90 minutes because we've struggled to do that all season. I think Liverpool will get the first goal, and they're so good at managing the game now. They're absolute pros at it. So I just see this being a 2-0 defeat. I think it'll be a dogged performance, 0-0 at half time, and then second half they'll just turn on the taps and that'll be it. But we will have some shots.
Which is
who
a
gets our
positive.
goal
It's
then?
better
If
than
it's
last
2-1.
time.
Tell you what, this is like previews from back in the day when we first started GallowgateShots, where every
It
video
is,
was
yeah.
just like, I think we'll lose this, but we might see a yellow card
We'll
for them.
do well. I think all right. Might have a shot on target.
Do we think Amalfitano is going to get a start this week? Bloody hell! That's just a reminder as to how bad things were. It's not it's not that bad.
It is 2024, isn't it? I haven't stepped into a time machine. We were talking about COVID in the group chat before we went on air as well. Can we do 4 defeats? I think we have to. Don't I mean, I know we're going to get slated in the comments, but you've got to look at this with a realistic set of.
I think we get slated if we said anything other than.
I know it's. I think we will get a goal. I mean, we might get a couple, but I think Liverpool might get a handful as well. Should I say 4-3? Make it entertaining. I think
one of the Keegan display.
I think let's get. Do you know what? I think the reason for our bad form is Jason Tyndall not wearing these. You need to put this back.
He's gone back to the DNA range.
What he needs to do. He's gone back to the DNA range.
He wore it for 3 months non-stop.
and it's been nicked. That's probably what it is because no one can get their hands on it.
Honking of stale tan.
Yeah, that's what's happened. Yeah, he's got orange on the neckline. No, I'm going to go for a 3-2 defeat. I think it'll be an end-to-end battle, and I think we'll be up for it. But I think they're just going to have the quality to just see us out no matter what happens. And it's going to be one of those where it's going to be they'll score, we score, and then they'll just come back and we'll score, and then by the time they get their third, we'll just be heads down and just everyone.
You mean a bit like that City game? Remember we played City at home during COVID, and that it ended 4-3, and it was like that.
Be one of them
basketball game. Aye.
Yeah, I think it's be one of them. So there you go. And I think for the goal scorers, if Isak plays, he's going to get a couple. But if it's not him, it'll be Wilson. I think Wilson will finally get his goal, and then he'll just get a couple. Yeah, it'll be just either 2 Isak or 2 Wilson.
Do you think we'll make many changes given it's midweek, or do you think how we'll look at it and think, well, it's Liverpool at home, it's a really hard game, and we need to be keeping consistent? I can see him probably
putting Brentford. We've got Brentford, Ipswich, and Leicester the next 3 of them, and then there's the cup game.
Yeah, all very winnable games. Yes.
Was Brentford the cup game? I can never remember.
Brentford's a cup game. That's on the 18th.
Okay. Yeah, Brentford at home. Yeah.
Couple of weeks.
But we've got them in the league at the weekend as well, away.
So we do. Aye.
It's funny that we've got the same as Chelsea, isn't it? We've got the cup and the league, cup of the league.
Very close.
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he would sacrifice this game as a write-off. I don't think he will. He's not that sort of manager. So I don't expect massive changes. But then he's probably going to want a response. So I think he might just go as is and just be like, show us what you were supposed to do at Crystal Palace. We'll see. Let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen, and let us know in the comments below what your predictions are. And if you're a Liverpool fan watching this, you probably don't care because you're top of the league and you probably think you're going to win the league. But just remember, we thought that back in 95, 96, 12 points at Christmas, it can go down the pan, as I had to remind some poor Scouse lad when he was getting his haircut at the same time as me. It can go wrong. He had no idea what 12 points of Christmas meant. He was too young. But I educated the poor lad on Saturday. When
you get him 12 grand.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't like out of my day. No. So yeah, he had no idea. But it's not gonna. It wouldn't happen again. It might do. We'll see. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think. Let us know what your predictions are going to be. And while you're down there, hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this, and hit the subscribe button to become a subscriber to the channel. When that happens, you'll see a little notification bell pop up. If you click that, you'll get a notification on your device of choice when new videos go live on the channel. And if you want to go one step further, we do have a membership program. It's $2.99 a month. That gets you early access to videos like this one, as well as exclusive content and exclusive podcasts also on the channel. And you also get access to the Telegram group as well. Right. I'm actually not going to be able to see this game. I'm out with work. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Christmas too?
It's one of them. I've got like 3 work reviews this week. So I'm only available for the entire week. So I'll not be in the next match preview. I'm not popular. That's work. I wish I was popular. There you go. So I'll see you all for the
Brentford.
It'll be the Brentford Cup preview, probably. I'll not be for the league one, whatever the next one is. I'll not be there. So yeah, see you all in the next one. I won't, but these guys will. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Lucky you.
Bye.